once I get back, I can further both Dorian and Josephine's quest because got all of the Venatori for Dorian's quest, and Josephine's operation is complete, which sounds like a surgery when I say it that way. How do I get over there? I must have to approach from behind or something? What's going on? Maybe if I go in here, maybe there's like a covered entrance. Maybe. Got a little bit of embrium. Come on, let me in. Oh, there's like a hitbox here where I can't move forward anymore. What the hell? Why is there an invisible wall here? How do you get to that camp? It's completely cut off looking. Oh. Is that a let's take a look at that. Oh, okay. I might get stuck here. Don't get stuck. Oh, crap. Alright, we're just gonna play as Vasti for a second. I'm pretty sure I just got stuck. I think I got stuck behind the invisible wall that time and was not going to be able to get back out. For a quick jog. God, I have so much stamina. This goes on for a while. So I believe if I get to that banner, I'm not entirely sure, but that might be one of those banners that you use to start an operation. So maybe I need an operation to even gain access to this camp. Be weird though, because I don't know what purpose this camp serves. That'd make it worth doing an entire operation. We'll find out. Charge. Or maybe this is just how I get in. Oh, there's a cave here. That's a good sign. What is that? Is that a dog? Yep, there's a Mabari statue and bad guys. Hey everybody. There's a news in town about a guy named Butcher Pete. And Pete just walked on into town. He's smacking up all the women's meat. There we go. One shot. I think I get a crit when I'm coming out of stealth. I don't remember if I have that on me or not. The size of the number indicates it probably happened though. But yeah, I kind of went to stealth an accident though. I was just kind of a fumble of the finger when I meant to go for the long shot. It's fine though. Important thing is I completely obliterated him. So this might be our way in. Oh, yep. There's an operation. Gain access to Gilhen's Grove. So that grove is one of the places where I'm supposed to duel someone for Vasti's specialization. So I'm definitely going to have to get that operation taken care of when I can. Preferably, I would make it to the camp. I think I'm going to go back to this camp and to finish the next part of Exalted, the Exalted Plains quest for holding it all. And then I think I'm going to warp back to town, talk to Dorian, talk to Josephine, and set these operations in motion for the area to unlock things while I'm actually here. Because that's going to be important if we're going to try to finish, it's going to be a big deal if we want to get Vasti's specialization class anytime soon. Especially if I want to do it during this particular recording session. Although, that's going to be completely bunk if the operation takes like 17 hours or something like that. I'm thinking more like the 17-minute quest that Josephine keeps getting. That's something I can still be around for. Otherwise, I'll have to come back tomorrow. Can I get through here without dying? Sure can. That's not safe. We have... Yep, there's one of the skulls. Alright, let's discover more locations. How many does this one have? 5. So between 2 of these, we've already found 10 out of 16, which is surprising. That might be the most efficient... Oh, there's one way out there. That might... Oh, another one over here. So we already found 4 to 5. Good. So we found... There's 2 skulls that have given me 5 so far out of 16 total. So that means 10 out of 16. That's pretty good. That's probably the fastest, the most I've ever gotten from individual of these. Just in general, probably. I am not seeing the last... It's always the last one that gets me. I'm always like, which is this weird spot that I'm missing that I haven't checked yet? It's got to be in the city, I feel like. Oh, there it is. I was on the right track, at least. Alright, so somewhere around here we have a... Oh, is this the soldier grieving one? There's something over here. What am I about to find? Is it inside the building? It's inside the building. Oh, I'm slipping. And I'm about to get attacked. By... Is it demons or is it undead? Maybe I'm not getting attacked. They seem to be hanging out in there. It's a loot chest. Let's just go ahead and play as Vasti. Oh, where's Vasti? He's at... Oh, he got stuck outside. Weird. How'd you mess this one up? Gonna go charge through there to clear out some of the debris. Fun times! Oh, that didn't even work. What? Oh, it's indestructible. Weird, you can normally break all this stuff. What am I gonna find here? It is bottle of Thetis. Alvarado's bathtub boot screech. If you can read this, you haven't drunk it. That's concerning. It's just a little bit of. Don't mind me. It's just a little bottle of death. I am not some. Oh, this one's broken too. It's just a copy paste of the first one we saw that was broken, I guess. I do not drink, so I can't relate to that issue so much. So somewhere around here, there's a letter here and a letter here, and they're in super wide open, awkward areas. Oh no, they really want you to be thorough, don't they? Maybe I'll skip on this for now. I don't know. Let's just. I'll continue towards a more specific goal. What are these ones? Shard. Oh, those are shards. Okay, let's just go for the camp for now, and I'll pick up any letters I find along the way. But that's about it. Hello, clearly bad guy. You're about to get wrecked. Don't mind me. You're just not going to live anymore. Okay. Let's spread the wealth, and by wealth I mean arrows. Whee! Ow. This guy just ran up to me. Oh no! I'm genuinely in trouble right now. Oh, I'm down. That was poorly orchestrated on my part. Thankfully, Vasti's here to be completely invulnerable, basically. Scary stuff's happening all up in your face, buddy. Payback strike. How dare you hit me? I think I'm still wearing the payback strike ring too, if I remember correctly. So, or maybe I'm not. I don't know. I'm bad at remembering this sometimes. But payback strike's dangerous, and it does bonus damage whenever I've been hit recently, which is basically all the time because I am the tank. Getting hits like my entire job. Nice. One of the enemies was a necromancer doppelganger. Oh, Dorian's down now. I have misjudged the difficulty of this area, haven't I? Did we? Oh no, we still have 11 out of 12. Interesting. I was thinking for a moment there, I was thinking maybe we're low on potions, so people aren't auto healing. But no, Dorian must have died so abruptly he didn't have the chance to heal, or maybe I still have him set to not heal from a very long time ago. When I did the mage storyline and I fought against Alexius way back in like episode 20 something, I disabled people's potion cutoffs so they wouldn't use them because they were using them too frequently, and it was becoming too much of a hazard for me. So I chose that I should be able to use them manually. That often involved particularly letting Dorian die over and over again over the course of the fight, because it was easier to revive him occasionally during safe moments than it was to keep letting him heal himself and completely blow through my potions in like the first third of the fight, which is definitely what kept happening. Alright, so they should get back up, right?
Can you change your form, Cole? If you wanted to look like something else.
But I don't want to look like something else.
There are magisters who'd be ecstatic if they could summon a demon who could pass for human.
They would use it to hurt people.
You're right about that. They would.
Yeah, let's not get too excited about the magisters. I think someone misinterpreted it as something I said earlier in the series, because they said it's a pity you don't like Dorian. I don't actively dislike Dorian. It's just he's I don't like him enough to choose that character when it comes to like the romance thing, like because obviously it's just kind of taken for granted that someone will pick someone at some point. I was getting pressure to just go pick someone already for this series, and out of the characters, like I find Cassandra and Josephine to be likable characters, because Cassandra's the like noble.
They can only return to the Maker if they become real. Why can't they be forgiven as they are?
People say they lack the ability to learn or grow.
Yes?
But the more contact you have with this world, the more ability you gain.
Why would they want to prove the Maker wrong? He's already far away.
It isn't about right and wrong. It's about attention when you think you've been forgotten.
And rolling the ball so it goes in the hole.
It's fascinating listening to you two. Like working out a puzzle with only half the pieces.
I'm pleased you're enjoying yourself.
I love it when they all talk to each other in one conversation. Of course, the third party is always like a last-minute addition compared to the others, but it's still a good addition. It's still a good bit of dialogue. Oh, that's good to know. Oh, so my backflip that does the flurry of blows, that's actually has a noteworthy utility for Cole. Now that Cole has armor generation on hit, it means that he's able to generate more, he can generate more guard by using that ability because it has more hits involved. So if I use my backflip and I use my my hidden blade attacks back to back, those are the fastest way to fill up my armor, my guard. Whereas auto attack and my other attack, auto attack is slow, and my other attacks are even slower than auto attack, so they're much less effective ways of generating guard by comparison. It also means that if I can do a flurry of blows on random holla like that, if I can make contact, I mean, then it's a good way of generating guard as a result. I just completely missed all forms of wildlife and they ran off like I didn't exist. Go figure. What's this? Last words from a Corporal Marsh. If I do not survive this terrible conflict, I wish my property to be distributed amongst my family thusly. To my dearest mother, the last salary drawn from my service to His Grace the Grand Duke. To my brother, Victor, my arms and armor, long may you defend your family. To my elder sister, Margot, my love and everything in the pinewood chest. To my younger sister, Bess, the pinewood chest and my apologies. One sister gets everything in the chest. This other sister just gets the chest itself, a box. May my maker take thee into his hands. Sounds like someone didn't have a lot to give.
A pity.
Destroy! So that's another piece of, we're making more progress there with the, oh, there we go. Yep, yep, I think that pretty much just confirmed that me doing that attack generates bonus guard for each hit, because my guard was flashing like crazy. So these attacks definitely these attacks generate way more. I'm not too concerned about health right now because they're just some random wolves, and we're about to get to a camp where I'll regenerate. Careful. There we go. It's good to have Dorian back because he had some good dialogue back and forth. I love hearing, in particular, I like hearing Sarah, Cole, Dorian, and Dorian, Varric. I lost my list, didn't I? I like Sarah and Cole, Dorian and Varric, I think, are the characters I enjoy the most when it comes to just banter and dialogue. Unfortunately, 3 of those characters are rogues. Shows that I'm more likely to like the weird, disenfranchised, or poor, or generally just more independent characters that are the rogue characters because they're fun to talk to, I guess. But they're all the same character class, so I can't keep them all around. And also, Varric's not great to have around because he's got a weapon that scales awfully. Inability to switch out Varric's weapon makes it much more difficult to properly, let's see, get Cole more healing potions in particular, and also Vasti, for sure. He can't scale his weapon very well. It'll be interesting to go online and listen to dialogue conversations between characters on like a YouTube video or something, because I know that I'm missing a lot, and it's not always possible to just give everyone regeneration potions, screw it. Whoa. It just says Inquisitor. It doesn't say Vasti, it just says Inquisitor. That's never happened before, I don't think. I just forgot my character's names. Oh, Dorian already has... Okay, Dorian has his potions. Did you forget your character's name? Is it going to show my character here? Okay, it's back to Vasti. I was concerned. I thought I was just going to say Inquisitor. I'm like, oh, that's new. Game always finds new ways to glitch if you spend enough time with it. So I feel like I left a bunch of thoughts unfinished over the last few minutes, but that happens. It's hard to keep everything straight in your head. It's why it's handy to be talking to someone, because then they can be like, alright, and you were talking about this earlier, and then you can follow up on that. But anyway, we've just established this camp here, which is a nice little milestone for going through this area as a whole. A little bit of progress there. How are we doing on the letters? We found 3 out of 7. We just found 1 on the way here, kind of passed another one by. Looks like a big coast area in general. They listed 3 different regions when I was, they listed 3 different regions in my specialization quest, and this seems to be the coast area, I think. Yeah, the Desolate Bank. So I think when you go across, maybe you go across that bridge, and maybe you go clear this, oh yeah, this place had a name too. Not this place, was it, I think the 2 different operations I can do here open up 2 areas. I think that there's one over here, I think, and one over here. And I think that's where I find my 2nd and 3rd characters I need to duel with Vasti to get my subclass. So I'm going to have to do those operations. So, definitely going back to town to talk to Dorian and Josephine and to get it to work on those. May as well expand our pool of focus since that seems to be a universally positive change. There we go. Another point spent. Now let's look into this issue with... Where is it? Somewhere over here. That's the Civil War. There we go. Speak with Minister Belize at a party. This is part of Josephine's ongoing quest to deal with the fact that I think it was the two paraquets who were choosing, potentially assaulting her. Inquisitor, I have the time and place for the Marquise's party. You must find a way to speak to Minister Belize privately about ratifying the deux paraquets' return to nobility. It is the last step we need. She holds the success of this entire endeavor in her hands. So that's completed. So now I think we can just go talk to Josephine. Before I do that, I think I'm going to update some stuff on the table, though. So, aid those impacted by the Civil War. Letter marked with a Chevalier seal. It was an honor to fight alongside the soldiers of the Inquisition. The demons stood little chance. You run an impressive army, Commander. Nothing seals an alliance like the bonds formed in battle. We may find similar victories together in the future. That's exactly what I was saying. Nothing seals an alliance like bonds formed in battle. That's exactly why I said it's probably the best decision to go out and actually go in direct conflict with our troops rather than sneakily doing stuff. Even if the sneaky approach may have been more effective, this one has more positive long-term ramifications. And we also sent Liliana somewhere. I don't see an exclamation point though, so I don't think she's done yet. So I'm going to check with Josephine before I do anything else, because that may be needed to progress. We should make sure we talk about the next step. Hello, Josephine?
Any news on the House of Repose, Inquisitor?
What's the next favor we need to get these deux paraquets a lordship?
We must persuade Minister Belize to ratify the papers. She's in charge of these matters of rank. The minister will be at a small fete thrown by the Marquis Wiscott. I'll get you an invitation.
So now our requirement is to go to the actual Marquis's party. Looks like we have two different objectives then. Then we need to talk to the Marquis. We need to go to the party and we need to talk to Countess Dion in Valroyo, who is, that objective has been here this whole time. It's just a parallel objective. I'll take care of that when I get to it, I think. I might go to the party first. I'm not sure if the Countess has to do with Liliana's subquest or not. I think that's something completely different, though. First of all, though, let's check in with Dorian. It's noteworthy to point out that this town area, the main hall of Skyhold, is now noticeably filled with our legions that I don't think were here before, so all the different cultures we're encountering and helping are starting to fill up various parts of this place. It definitely has a sense of progression to it, which is neat. Dorian?
Marvelous business, the Winter Palace. You saved an empress, and now she's eating out of your hand. Perfect mental image. All this dancing, politics, and murder makes me a bit homesick.
That's something you actually miss.
Who wouldn't? All the drama, the scandal, the petty maneuverings. Back home, we engage in social affairs with the grim intensity of war. When blood is spilled, the battle is won. Less fun when you're the target, but to watch. My, yes. I hope you tried the ham they were serving, by the way. Tasted of despair. It's fascinating.
I should go.
Naturally. Something you need?
I'd like to ask you about Tevinter.
Ah, yes. Everyone outside the Imperium always seems quite fascinated by it. Probably why they come up with so many ridiculous tales. Flying cows over Minrathous. That's madness. All right, that one's actually true, but the cows didn't have wings. I digress. Anything in particular you wanted to know?
Just how often is blood magic used there?
Oh, not at all.
Not at all.
That's what any Magister would tell you. They'd be convincingly offended by the notion, too. Of course, what people call blood magic here, and what we consider blood magic, are two different things.
What's considered actual blood magic in Tevinter?
Blood magic isn't inherently dangerous. Using your own blood or that of a willing participant, what's the harm? The problem is that what's permitted only gets you so much power. And what if you need more? You always need more. That's where we get into sacrifices and demon summoning. None of that is done. Not officially. Behind closed doors, it's a different story. Real blood magic can give you an edge, a leg up against your opponents. It's safe to assume that any mage of rank does it. The rest are quietly shut out of power, to put it bluntly.
You'd think the Templars would object.
I imagine they did, long ago. Once, their investigations might have been sincere. Then their balls were cut off. Too inconvenient. Nowadays, only the friendless are accused. And most of them probably innocent.
There must be some mages who oppose this.
Of course. I do. And I'm not entirely alone. Occasionally, there'll be a magister who makes noise. And then the reform talk begins. All very patriotic. Meanwhile, that magister will be quietly shunned. Chances are, surprise, it's learned he was a Maleficar all along. Most learn to keep quiet. Me? I enjoy the allure of pariahhood.
There's an Imperial Chantry, isn't there? With its own divine?
You people aren't supposed to talk about the Black Divine, are you? If you mention him outside the Imperium, people make that face, like you're urinating in public. But yes, we do have the Chantry, or a version of it. Night and day comparing it to yours.
Is the Imperial Chantry so different from ours?
Not in theory. The main difference is in the whole magic is meant to serve man, not rule over him business. Back home, ruling the unwashed masses is serving them, for the good of the Imperium. Perhaps it started with good intentions, but these days it's academic. The circles are in command.
There are circles of magi in the Imperium.
We don't have dismal little mage prisons, if that's what you mean. They're academies, prestigious ones. We have Templars as well, but they don't cancel spells or whatever your Templars do. They're soldiers. They watch for abuse of magic, yes, but only those who are weak or who fall out of favor get dealt with. Mostly they enforce the Magisterium's edicts. The Chantry smiles and nods from the sidelines.
Do you really call him the Black Divine?
We don't call him that, oh no. In the Imperium, he's the true divine. The woman sitting on the Sunburst throne is some backwater pretender. It all stems from a disagreement over Andraste. Marvelous, isn't it?
Why would they disagree over Andraste?
It's not my field of expertise, but the Imperium believes Andraste was a mortal woman, a mage. Down south, they say, no, she's the bride of the Maker, ascended to his side, divine provenance, a blah blah blah. We feel better believing Andraste was one of us. Makes executing her less damning, you see. So we elected a man as divine, the South declared war, and we've been feuding cousins ever since.
So the Imperial Divine is always a man?
All the better to distinguish him from that other one, yes. Don't think there aren't a number of female magisters who bristle at that. Why can't they be divine after all? Same reason you never see a man on the Sunburst throne. Because that's how it's always been done. Excellent reasoning.
Do you consider yourself Andrastian?
The big question. It might surprise you that I do consider myself Andrastian. I simply do not believe in the Chantry. It is a relic, whether back home or here in the South. Something from a bygone age desperately clinging to relevance. It's not an opinion that makes me popular.
I'm not surprised. It's not an opinion you should share.
You did ask, if you'll recall.
I'll say this. I may not believe in the Chantry, but I believe in you.
In me?
That the Maker sent you, whether through Andraste or fate. Cassandra is not wrong. You saw that in the future, without you, Corypheus prevails. You are our bulwark against evil.
I'm not sure about that myself.
Doubt is good. I like doubt. It will keep you sane. Me? I've seen too much to believe I know everything.
The world is bigger than I. Even bigger than you. It laughs at all the things we think we know. The Maker doesn't need me to believe. But I do. The thought of no one at all watching out for us is too frightening.
Let me ask you something else.
So many questions.
we had another one of those little incidents where I meant to click on one thing and I kind of did what I wanted, but then he didn't say what I thought he would, because I was like, oh yeah, some people would probably object to that point of view, but then instead the way my character spoke was like, I object to that point of view, don't share that, how dare you, and stuff like that, and suddenly we have a conflict. Sounds like Dorian didn't really get bothered by it anyway, but some interesting religious perspective there. There's the idea that, like, it's something that I've heard some people say in real life too, which is that he believes in Andraste but doesn't follow the Chantry, and there's a fair number of people who feel that way, specifically because of the fact that how am I trying to say this? Like, there's people who believe in the Bible, and then people believe in Christianity as a concept, but then don't believe in, say, the Vatican or churches, because they see them as weird human constructions that contradict their religion. Then you have that element of how, like, basically the Imperials executed Andraste, and so they like to think of her as not being a holy person because of that. They don't see her as a legitimate prophet because they went and executed her, so they have issues with acknowledging her, of course, and that's had that happen in real life. I believe with the Jewish faith, where I think it was, if I remember correctly, it was supposed to be like Jews executed Jesus Christ, according to that story at least, and then you'll say that they don't see him as a prophet, I think, but Christians do, of course. So it's like the exact same friction of sorts. I'm trying to step on too many toes here. I'm just kind of making general observations, but also it's rough thinking about the idea like this is Tevinter also sounds a little bit like Gotham from the Batman series, this town it takes place in, because that's a place where crime has taken over so thoroughly in that area that the cops are kind of just whipped into place and just they pretend to do their jobs, but they're mostly just letting people get away with stuff all the time. And that seems to be what happens with the Templars, who are afraid to stand up to the crazy magical practices happening there because they are clearly out of their league.
It seems strange that an entire empire would be ruled by mages.
I find it strange that your mages don't rule anything at all. Actually, the fiction in the Imperium is that mages don't rule. The Magisterium rules. That magisters are all mages is considered a convenient technicality.
What is the Magisterium exactly?
The upper house of the Imperial Senate, and the only part worth having a seat on. Those seats are split among the circles of Magi, the Chantry, and the major families. All mages now. It's odd that outside the Imperium, you use Magister like it applies to every Tevinter mage.
If you're not a Magister, then what are you called? No special title?
I'm an Altus, which is almost as good as a Magister, depending on who you ask.
I've never heard of an Altus.
Upper class. Those families who trace descent from the Dreamers, the first prophets of the old gods. If you're a mage and you're not Altus, then you're later, lower class. If you're not a mage at all, you're Soperati. That's everyone else. We do love our fancy words.
I thought the Archon ruled over the Imperium.
Well, yes. Technically, he can overrule laws passed by the Magisterium, but that never happens. Even so, he gets to appoint new Magisters, which means all the families vie madly for his favor. Thus, the Archon gets invited to all the parties. The truest path to Tevinter influence, let me tell you.
If it's a fiction, that means mages do rule then.
Yes and no. Let me put it this way. Mages do rule, but not all mages are equal. If you're not from the right family, chances are you don't rule anything. Maybe you're even a slave. The idea that anyone could be a mage, however, keeps the masses placated.
Can anyone be a mage?
Technically. The potential runs mostly in bloodlines, but it's been known to happen. More importantly, commoners believe it can. Tevinter legend is chock full of mage heroes from humble origins. So they hold out hope. Someday my son or my son's son will be a mage. Someday. Poor sods don't realize that means he'll be a quaestor at the arse end of the 100 Pillars, at best.
Being a quaestor isn't a good thing.
I imagine the average non-mage likes to think so. Counting numbers and shuffling papers all day is better than many occupations after all.
If you're a second-class citizen among a pack of piranha, however, your outlook changes.
Let me ask you something else.
Of course.
That was an interesting parallel to American society, actually, and capitalism and so on, where oftentimes it's just not possible to succeed or escape your origins, or at least it's not likely for the vast majority of people. Most people live and die in the economic class of their parents, but the American dream, of course, sort of fools people into thinking that there's anyone who believes or gets lucky or dedicates themselves enough can just magically, just through the power of willpower, just get better in general. But historically, doesn't tend to work that way, unfortunately. And of course, there's people who get very mad if you talk about things that way.
I'm wondering if the Imperium would be a useful ally.
I'd think you'd be more concerned whether or not they'd support the Venatori. They won't, of course. At least, not officially. They'll disavow all knowledge of dangerous cultists. Secretly, many Magisters will rejoice at the idea. And if the South falls to chaos in the meantime, all the better.
It would be in the Imperium's best interest to help. Surely it could use allies.
I think the Imperium gave up on the idea of allies a long time ago. We've been fighting the Qunari for what, 200 years off and on? It's a point of pride that we go it alone. They'll sneer at the South behind their silk handkerchiefs and say, "You've had it easy for far too long." Let's not forget that the Inquisition seems to be an arm of the Orlesian Chantry. Anathema so far as they're concerned.
We're not part of the Chantry. The Chantry opposed the Inquisition's formation.
You think that matters? Don't be silly. The Herald of Andraste. Your very title smacks of the Southern Chantry. You may as well be a heathen. I think they're far more frightened what you'll do if you succeed.
Anyone who talks about the Imperium mentions slavery. It's the center of the slave trade.
Ah. That is true.
And? Did you have slaves?
Not personally, but my family does and treats them well. Honestly, I never thought much about it until I came south. Back home, it's how it is. Slaves are everywhere. You don't question it. I'm not even certain many slaves do.
You think slaves like it that way? Don't be ridiculous.
I didn't say they like it. It's all most of them know. In the south, you have alienages, slums, both human and elven. The desperate have no way out. Back home, a poor man can sell himself. As a slave, he could have a position of respect, comfort, and could even support a family. Some slaves are treated poorly, it's true. But do you honestly think inescapable poverty is better?
Is that what you call it? Treated poorly?
Abuse heaped upon those without power isn't limited to Tevinter, my friend. I don't know what it's like to be a slave, true. I never thought about it until I saw how different it was here. But I suspect you don't know either. Nor should you believe that every tale of Tevinter excess is the norm.
That's all I wanted to know.
Fair enough.
Wow, that actually went on for a pretty long time. I was gonna ask about Tevinter and ask about himself, but I think we'll wait for another time for that one.
I should go.
Try not to kill anyone without me.
Oh, we've already killed people for you, so you really have nothing to say about the fact that, wow, we got a lot of codexes for that. So you really have nothing to say about us helping with your other stuff?
What's on your mind?
Nope.
I should go.
As you wish.
Interesting. So what's going on with his journal? Let's see, Josephine, someone else, Enchanter. Oh yeah, there's just no mention of there's interestingly no mention of Dorian here at all. It's like we did his little quest and then that's it. He just approves of us better, and that's I guess it's the end of that. Surprisingly, I'm gonna go try to track down Blackwall because he's missing from my party, so I should investigate what's going on there. Oh, we haven't. So Blackwall noticeably does not show up anywhere on the maps in the entire area at all. But he does have an exclamation point here. Oh, and there's a messenger.
The spy master has confirmed it. Blackwall is gone.
Go on. Liliana knows where he is, doesn't she? She knows everything.
She doesn't know everything, yet. Sister Leliana had us search the Warden's quarters. Not much to find, except this. It was missing from last week's reports. I don't know what Blackwall's interest in this particular matter is, but it could be a good place to start.
A crumpled report. A crumpled sheet of paper. It looks like it was removed from a recent report to Sister Leliana. Lieutenant Cyril Mornay, one of the soldiers responsible for the Callier massacre of 937, was captured in Leeds. Like the others who were arrested for their involvement, Mornay insists that he did not know who he was assassinating and that he was just following orders of his captain. This captain, Thom Ranier, is still at large. Mornay is to be executed within the week in Val Royale. Well, so this would suggest that Blackwall has gone off to
I should look around.
Look into this exact execution, perhaps to prevent it. Maybe he thinks they're being wrongly executed. Is this a toy griffin? Looks like it is. A message from Blackwall. Inquisitor, you've been a friend and an inspiration. You've given me the wisdom to know right from wrong, and more importantly, the courage to uphold the former. It's been an honor to serve with you. So Blackwall's flat out gone. He's completely left. Notably with some of my really good equipment, so hopefully I can get him back in the party, and this isn't like Alistair, where he takes off with some of my good equipment and I never get it back. But he's duty-bound for sure. I won't miss him entirely if I can't get him back, because of course Cassandra is kind of a duplicate, and frankly my character is becoming a champion, which is what he is too. Is this related to this? Way of the Champion. Oh! Acquired Way of the Champion. So this was the exact thing I needed to find for part of becoming a champion. Now I just need to challenge those two people. From champions of note in a great tradition, Lord Chancer's words make one passage stand out. There is sacrifice in attaining the adulation of others. For while the champion is raised above all but their patron, this is done with the weight of expectation. Their shoulders bear the hopes of those they protect, the pride of those they inspire, and the demands of those they lead. And in becoming such a figure, the champion accepts not just the aspirations of his or her allies, but also the dangerous envy of the enemy. One must remember the figures of note who have come before, for the glorious tales of their triumphs are often punctuated by steep and sudden tumbles. They burn bright, and draw others to their glory, but as anyone who knows of flames can attest, a simple shift of breeze or landscape can send the fire homeward. Those who seek the title never think themselves joining 100 bound for obscurity. They know they are the rare few who will be permanently enshrined in glory. If they did not think as such, they would not be fit to try. Many heraldic symbols follow, as well as martial instruction. I think I've read that before, but this time I got credit for it for my personal quest at the very least. So, Blackwall's gone, and if I were to wager, we'll check the quest real quick. Revelations. Blackwall has left the Inquisition. It appears to have something to do with the impending execution of a man named Mornay, one of the soldiers responsible for the Callier massacre. Attend Mornay's execution. So, what we're getting at here is I clearly have reason to go to Val Royale, because we need to go to Mornay's execution there. We also need to go meet with we need to go to the Marquis' party and speak with Countess Dion. So we have a lot of duty. For the first time in a while, we have a lot. I say the first time in a while. We just did the longest story mission ever there, but we definitely have duties to do in Val Royale. So I guess I'll head there next. Oh shit! This is a significant increase for Vasti actually. Song of the Marshes, the epic-looking weapon, the unique axe that we got as a reward for the finishing the Grey Warden War Table missions. It does like 120 more DPS than my weapon, although that's not entirely accurate because it's 32 of the DPS, 32 damage is being brought by the dragon effect, so the DPS is not entirely accurate because it only happens fully when I'm fighting dragons. But more damage, more critical damage bonus, 21 strength, which is massive. I lose a bit of a crit chance, but I go from 5% to a 10% chance of applying poison. So that is quite the upgrade. Definitely worth looking into. Alrighty.